Let's face it, you're not here for me. I'm not here for me. We know who we're here for. This is the bit where I get to be like the voiceover man on X Factor. His name's Peter Dixon, fact fans, because I'm going to wheel out some big facts in a dramatic voice, whilst going like this as a visual accompaniment. One started in 2006 at the age of 19, the other in 2009 at the age of 18. It was immediately noticeable they were both weird, funny, and hot. When they combined forces, the world essentially exploded. Together, they have 8 million subscribers on one hell of a lot of chemistry and hair. As Radio 1 presenters, they won a Solely Golden Headphones Award. They had cameo roles in Disney's Big Hero 6, which is as near as you can get to coming to be immortalized by God. Dan has touched Jennifer Lawrence's hand in a bonding high fives moment, whilst Phil has a superior educational qualification and is in the Guinness Book of Records as the fastest coin stacker in the world. Seemingly uncontent with having conquered the world of internet and broadcast, they have moved like sexy conquering locusts into literature with their debut book, which has been #1 both here and in America in the young adult hardcover list, which sounds rude but is real and important. The book is The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire, and they are, as you well know, Dan Howell and Phil Lester, aka The Amazing Phil and Dan Is Not on Fire. Come join us on the stage.
Step 1, we didn't trip up the stairs. Yes, yes.
Hello, everyone.
Yes,
Thanks for coming.
Hi. Thanks for coming. No worries.
Was that brief hiatus though when you were working out what order you should be in? Because you were talking about this
do we have
before.
an order?
Yeah.
We met Ant and Dec and they said, you need an order, guys. And we were like, what? Why do we need an order?
Have you met Ant and Dec?
Yes.
They are the most aspirational people you'll ever meet.
are so
They're
lovely,
so
aren't they?
organised. They knew what they were doing with their lives.
If
were
they
well
tell
driven.
you something, you should do it. That's all I know. So
And did they explain in what order they stand and what logic they have chosen that, and then how you should
logic
choose
behind
your logic?
I think it's just in the Ant and Dec order with your eyes. So if you see Ant
The
and
name
Dec,
you say first on the left, I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's the deep theory behind that one.
And did you straight away agree with that? You knew
Yeah.
which order you should stand in?
We were
Yeah.
just like, okay, we'll do whatever you say.
we almost fought to the death. Let's not lie.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Senpai is what you'd call someone you respect on the internet. So Ant and Dec were our senpais,
They were.
and we listened to them. Yeah.
Where did you meet them? Were you at a showbiz party?
We were actually...
Well, yeah, because we go to parties at all. No, we were at the Brits.
We were at the Brit Awards, we were doing some presenting, so we snuck around backstage and we grabbed them for 5 minutes.
Oh, and
Because they were the proper presenters of the Brits, and we were like the weird internet ones at the back of the building. So we briefly walked past them and were like, and that was basically it.
and who else were you most excited about meeting there at the Brits? You remember who else you bumped into?
We saw Ed Sheeran again.
Yeah, Ed
He's very
Sheeran
nice.
again.
He's cool. He's a nice person. So if you believe in Ed, good.
Yeah.
He picked
Also,
a nice guy.
RJ Mitty from Breaking Bad was there.
That
I
was a
like,
surprise,
Walter
wasn't he?
Jr. Yeah, I had to give him a big hug.
And
You
was there
did say hello first, otherwise
did.
he would have been very scared. Yeah.
And was there anyone there that you would have tried to avoid? Have you got any feuds yet? Is there anyone
Not
that
yet.
you have displeased?
No.
No
Very
feuds.
antisocial.
Yes.
I
What
don't
was
think
the funny thing that happened? Lily Allen emptied her clutch into your hands, didn't
Yeah,
she?
I
That
was
really
like, what's
funny.
in your...
Clutch?
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
clutch bag.
Yeah.
Is it
Oh,
called
right.
a clutch?
Okay,
Like it's
just
like a
checking.
handbag but
Okay.
small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked what was in her bag, and she proceeded to empty it into my hands while I was trying to interview her, and I was like, oh, okay, that's...
So Phil was just stood there holding this like Chanel bag with like a little flask of vodka and some cigarettes, and we were like, okay. And Phil was like, oh, why are you making me hold things?
Yeah. And then she asked me to repack it, and being the most clumsy person in the world, I was like, I'm going to do this wrong. I'm gonna ruin
Phil
her life.
versus a suitcase is something that you should pay to see. So yeah.
Your life as a professional packer's not starting now.
No,
That's
not at
the
all.
service you
Safe
offer.
to say.
So the format tonight is you are asking the questions. You've all had forms out there. You've done your questions. Some of you have asked a lot of questions. Hopefully we'll be able to get through them all in time. We're just going to pick them out in random order.
Okay.
I'm going to get to sample all of your handwriting. So get ready. When I read out your question, I think it would be appropriate for you to scream and put your hand in the air. It's always good to have an excuse for screaming and putting your hands in the air.
Yes.
So we'll start off with one which is nice and general. What inspires you to make videos? Whose was that? Hand
Wow.
and scream?
Hand and a scream.
Oh.
Thank you.
Give us your best blood scream. And do that. I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to make noise. Wow.
I get inspired by things in my everyday life that happen to me, which I encounter quite a lot of strange situations. Like I got attacked by a rabid squirrel. So there's a video that I made.
Attacked by a squirrel in the Florida, as you know.
Yeah, I was on BBC Breakfast. They said, "Where did the squirrel bite you?" And I said, "Florida." Can't take that one back if it's
No,
live.
Phil, they meant where on the body. But no, love getting nibbled on the Florida. It's a
Yeah.
good start to any day, isn't it?
What about you, Dan?
At first I was like, that's just funny because it makes no sense. Now the more I think about it, I'm like,
What does that mean?
appendix. Is this going to get flagged? Can
Maybe.
things get
I think
flagged?
it's gonna get flagged.
It's going to be buried right in the corner of the iTunes store. Videos.
What
inspiration.
inspires you to make videos?
I just kind of like force my opinions upon people. So I'm like, what do I feel like I want to hear people talking about that I just feel like, you want to hear my opinion on this? Yeah, that's basically what I do.
And do you study in any way? Do you read all of the newspapers and decide to argue with people? Or do you watch all of the television and go,
I'd go
no?
I'd go on like 30-hour Wikipedia odysseys before some videos, which is bad. Do you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
You go on Wikipedia
Yes,
and it's like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And then it's 4 a.m. and
Yeah.
you're like, why am I reading about oil rigs?
Yeah. That
kind
random
of like-
button is dangerous.
Because I'm like, I don't want to give an opinion on the internet without being mildly educated, because as we all know, the internet will destroy you for
They will.
anything. You see, like you made it like a typo, even if the argument was right. Destruction. So you really, and I make so many typos anyway, so there's no point at all.
Yeah.
They know, seriously. My Twitter's just a train wreck, but I try.
Can you say now at the age you're at whether you think you've learnt more from your education or from the internet?
I think definitely from the internet.
From the internet. Yeah. I mean, like an entire year's worth of school is just like one search term away, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I did post-production at university, so that helped me like animate Jennifer Lawrence's face across a screen and things
You
like
actually
that.
did something relevant.
I did something
Do you
relevant.
know how rare that is, Phil?
But apart from that, I think I learned far more from the internet and just my life experiences as well. Like making videos about university or my school life or things that I've done, I think have helped a lot more of my videos than my education. What was that?
I'm not saying
Did that just fall from the sky? There we go, put that there.
I'm not saying that my law degree was completely useless, but it has been mostly completely useless so far. I'll let you guys know. Yeah.
And you've spoken about the dangers of the internet before now and how the internet can become a nasty place. Do you think that we should have someone in charge of the internet, like a mum or a dad of the internet,
a
who
mum of
gets
the
to
internet.
tell off bad people and go, that was wrong?
I think the internet is too powerful to be tamed by anyone. It has
Yeah.
to, it's quite important for the internet to be a completely free and open place there on the internet. But I think that there's a lot of websites that probably don't do enough to protect people from being harassed if they don't want to be, just because there's so many things where it's like you block someone and like you can still see them on their timeline and stuff. I don't think
Yeah.
there should be any all-powerful force on the internet, but if somebody has like built a community, then they have a responsibility to try and like build all the features as possible for people to completely control how they're interacted with.
Well, you started the hashtag Nicer Internet
Yeah, the
campaign.
Nicer Internet thing we did with Radio 1.
Yeah.
That was good.
So that was
Yeah.
trying to tell people to be a bit nicer online.
Lots of wisdom packed into there.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, that the internet is too big to be controlled by one or two people, but if you do imagine it being controlled by Sir Ian McKellen, who plays Gandalf, and
Then
Beyonce,
suddenly
would
I
that
would
not
agree.
be quite a good place to be?
I think
That would be an
Gandalf and
improvement.
Beyonce would
Yeah.
definitely improve the internet in a big way.
And Beyonce's got time.
I mean,
She
Beyonce
can
already
sort of
controls
course.
the internet, just with her pop culture influence.
Yeah.
She's out there.
So here we go. So the book. We're going to speak of the book now.
The book.
There's two questions here from Kira. Can we have a hand and a scream?
Kira.
Do a scream, or you can do a yo if you're not a screamer. That's good.
That was
That
a
was
strong
good.
noise, thank you.
That was
I
nice.
felt the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
That was dignified. Your first question is, what's your favourite page written by the other person?
Oof.
The hand. I mean,
hand.
come on, guys. I mean, we've all been there, right? Was that just one page as well?
That was 2 pages. We challenged each other to write fan fictions in our own styles.
Yes.
There are a lot of good ideas in the book.
And I just thought I'd let my creativity flow as much as possible, so I ended up with a fan fiction about a mutant hand growing out of my chest, which...
Don't spoil the ending.
I won't spoil the ending.
There is a twist.
There
that
is a
you don't
twist
see
ending.
coming in like the laws of our universe.
Yeah, so yeah, that was really fun to write.
That was inspired
And
because we didn't like tell each other or help each other with the ideas. With that one, we were kind of like, we're going to do fan fictions.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it. You just go write yours. I'll just go write mine, and then we'll meet in the middle and just see what the other person made. And I was like, okay, Phil, here's my one about like angsty vampires. And then I was like, what's yours, Phil? And I was like, okay. Wow. Thanks, Phil.
You shouldn't lasso your creativity. You should just let it flow out of your head.
True. It was very, very inspirational. It was good.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here who's not read the book yet? Would we be spoiling it? Has everyone read
Yeah,
the book?
good, yeah.
So
Thank
you know
you.
what
There's
happens in this
lasers
story.
pointed at you.
It is quite the most terrific ending to a story I've ever. It's quite
Graphic
unexpected.
imagery.
I was actually hoping for a movie deal out of that one.
Just so you could meet Harry, though.
Yeah,
I'm
just
guessing that's why.
sign Harry Styles up.
Harry birthed through your own abdomen.
He did. There we go. Spoiler alert. I don't know where that came from.
I mean, there's like, don't lasso your creativity, and then there's whatever that is. That's like, bye, you're out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Well, this question kind of follows on after that one. Were there any ideas that you scrapped or wanted to include but didn't? I mean, I'm thinking that you probably included everything you thought of, given that happened.
Given that is in the book, I think everything was included that we wanted to be. But we did have about 7,000 pages worth of ideas that we had to like whittle down into our favorite ones.
Definitely. We got to a point where we had like 30% too many ideas.
Yeah.
And then we were like, let's fit them all in the book. And then they were like, no, because there's only this many pages. And we went, let's add 80 pages. And they said, you can't just say that. And we're like, okay. So then we had like a month of just like slowly setting fire to all these ideas we had. I let go slowly, didn't I?
That's what they said. They said it was like murdering your pets.
Because Phil was like, come on, Dan, just pick 5. And I was like,
I
you know what?
can't.
I'll start slowly. Here's 1 you can ditch. And they were like, Dan, you need to get rid of 35. And I was like, It took about a month for me to let go of 35 ideas.
We did actually end up with a lot more content in the book than we originally planned out to do as well.
Definitely, it's packed.
We got rid of quite a few more photos than words. There's more words than we expected to have,
Yeah.
which is nice.
And do you feel the split is fair? Are either of you sort of annoyed that the other one got 1 more page than the other, or is it completely
Did we do
fair?
that?
I think it's actually
Your
around
chat
50-50,
logs
isn't
took
it?
up a few pages. I
Yeah.
think Phil's, I think the split of ideas or chapters is even, but I think that a couple of Phil's things, like the chat logs, we were like, for this to be even, it needs to be just 2 pages. But
Yeah.
actually, we really want this to take
So I
up
put,
like
like,
more
8
because
pages.
it's amazing. So I have to keep going.
And who's more likely to be the one that goes, no, we can't put that in there? Who's the strict one? Who's the no, that will not happen?
I'm like the Phil that makes no sense, that can't go in the book, and Phil's like the Dan, it won't get printed in America if you say that. And I'm like, okay, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think Dan pushes too many limits. I'm like, Dan, no, we can't have that in the book. Maybe not.
It's quite important. We're like 2 ends of the spectrum that without the other person meeting halfway in the middle, it just wouldn't exist.
Like a beautiful man rainbow.
Yes,
There you go.
Yes.
exactly. I'm picturing things, and they're all good and bad at the same time. Yes, it's
The
fantastic.
best things are good and bad at the same time.
Yes.
Next question, a thoughtful question.
All right.
Okay.
What is the general message? Which I thought was what was the general massage, which would have been a
The
different
general
thing
massage.
entirely.
What is the general massage?
But what is the general message you're trying to convey through the book?
Ooh. I think we were just trying to emulate everything that is the world of Dan and Phil into something. So if the world gets destroyed by a meteor, then that's something that could be left in the rubble, like a memory of our lives.
That is what we were thinking,
Yeah.
because we were just pondering about Dan and Phil and how the whole thing and YouTube was all a big accident. Because all the people that are YouTubers now, it was a complete accident. Nobody
Yeah.
planned anything.
Nobody knew that was gonna happen.
And yet, this kind of like amazing world of Dan and Phil kind of did get created. All the experiences that we've had, all the things that we've done over the years, all the videos that we've made, and all of the things that we've done with the guys that have supported us over the few years. And we were just thinking, literally in that kind of, a meteor could come and destroy us and this book's left. It's like we felt like we needed to do something to kind of preserve Dan and Phil in something forever, so that in the event of a catastrophic meteor or Ian McKellen comes and like just deletes the internet forever, Dan and Phil and everything we did and made and, you know, what these guys were a part of is kind of preserved in a big memory box for us all.
Yeah. I think I also wanted people to come away and just think, don't be afraid of being a little bit weird. If you are, just embrace it.
Because
and
if there's any
enjoy
message
that.
of Dan and Phil, that's it. You know what I mean? It's like you might have no friends or social life or, you know, any of the top 10 things that you think you have to do in school to be cool. If you tick none of those boxes, that's fine. There
Yeah.
are people out there that will accept you for just like being on a completely different piece of paper.
There is a recurring theme of the apocalypse and doom and the end of the world.
Yeah.
There is.
Have you made any preparations for that? Do you have apocalypse cupboards? Have you worked out where you'll go in the event of a nuclear strike? Like, how far ahead are you thinking?
How useful would you be in an apocalypse scenario?
I
Phil?
would be terrible. If the zombies started invading, I'd probably be the first person to die. I've learned that you shouldn't go to a shopping mall because there's too many exits. So then
Good
the zombies
idea.
can get in.
Yeah.
Get in, all right. So
Yeah.
where would you go then? Where's the safest place?
I'd probably just go to the top of a really tall skyscraper. Do you know, like a penthouse, someone's got a pool, they've gone out of town, steal that, raid their fridge, and go swimming.
You got a plan.
You're thinking ahead.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
thinking
good,
ahead.
yeah.
They might have a
presuming-
helicopter on the roof as well.
And yet the person who's more worried about the apocalypse appears not to have a plan.
Yeah, I mean, I constantly just think about like doom and the inevitability of death coming from like all angles. So like a constant part of me is always dwelling on different apocalypse scenarios, I think. But in the event of something like that, I'll probably just be in my apartment.
Yeah.
We've got enough microwave popcorn to last for like at least a decade.
But that was part of the book. It's called Going Deep. And what we did basically is we just chose the topic and then we talked about it, recorded our conversations, and then we wrote them down in the book, like what we were thinking about, robots or the apocalypse.
You know, the real
The real
questions that we all
questions.
need to ponder,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm saying the word legacy here. That's the start of the legacy
Yes.
of
Yeah.
the book. That is legacy. We've got what inspired you to write your life into a book? That's from Gabby. Where's Gabby? Can we have a
Hi, Gabby.
That was a good comment.
That was good, thank you.
That's good.
Energized now.
That's a double yoker.
I thought it could help other people out, like talking about my university life and starting a university flat with 10 people and what all the trials of that. I thought anyone that's starting university could read that and think, wow, oh, okay, he got through that in the end. That was great.
Yeah, it was a funny
yeah.
one because, like, obviously, The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire isn't really an autobiography. Like, it's really mainly all the other bits of the book that are just about kind of like the things that me and Phil have done and created. But then we thought, should we include some parts of it? Would it be weird to like do certain bits and certain not bits? And then we thought that, like Phil said, it would be really good to share like certain pockets that different kind of groups of our audience might be able to really relate to different chunks. But then also it would be really hilarious to pick specific parts of us growing up before we met as part of like the before YouTube section of Dan
Before
and Phil.
YouTube.
And like compare how our experiences went, which I think is perfectly summed up by that one page where it's my resigning from law school, and then like Phil proudly holding his diploma on the other page. I'm like, literally that double page. My grandma was like, oh,
There we
that's
go.
nice. So I'm like, yeah, that's my life, right there.
There's also the amazing information in there that had you been girls, that Dan, you would have been called Yazzie or Yazzie.
Yeah. I was like, thanks, Mum.
Yazzie Howell.
It's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
And you would have been Fiona.
Fiona Lester.
Yeah.
Fiona
Yeah.
Lester.
I like that.
I think Fiona marries with Lester slightly more than Yazzie does with Howell. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know about you.
Have you often wondered, I mean, first of all, do you like those names? Were you girls? Would you be happy? Do you feel
I-
you are a Fiona? Are you a Yazzie?
I would be
Is
totally happy with the name Fiona if I was
It's quite a pretty
female.
name, isn't it, Fiona? I
Yeah.
think I'd really hate my mum for a while, but then eventually I'd be like, I like being a special snowflake. Yes, Yazzie, weird name.
And are you not inclined to put an appeal out to find out if there is a Fiona or a Yazzie out there with your
Yazzie
surnames?
Howell.
So you can
Yeah.
meet them, your weird doppelganger girl selves.
I think they could be out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Search that on Facebook later.
I mean, Yazzie's going to be
Yeah.
difficult,
Yeah.
but Fiona, that's possible.
Maybe.
I bet there's at least 10 people from my audience that are role-playing as Yazzie Howell, the gender-bended version of Dan in this universe right now.
Here we go now. Another question from the audience. While you were writing the book, did you experience any creative block? And if so, how did you overcome it? That's from Martha. Where's Martha? Hey, Martha.
Hello.
Hey.
I think when you're creating anything, there'll always be a time when your mind's like, I can't handle this anymore. I've done too much of it or something. So yeah, there were some blocks. I think especially when we were trying to like work out the order of the pages or how it's all gonna fit together.
My God, that took a long time.
But to get over that, I just went for a walk outside, like that strange place that I never go. Or a good one is to like watch something that inspires you that someone else has made, like something really creative, like a movie or a TV show or something
Yeah,
like that.
honestly, it's like getting excited about being creative is a good way to get over that. So if you're like, oh no, I've just been doing this, then we watch other YouTubers' videos or watch a show that we like or read a book that we like, and then we're like, oh, now I know why I was excited to do this in the first place, and suddenly you want to go back and you have loads of energy.
Unless you watch Game of Thrones, then you end up on the doom pages.
Yeah,
down, right?
then we get to the apocalypse because you've just been dwelling on the death.
Yeah.
And did you do any, because if there's a montage in a film of people working on a creative process, when they do the montage, they do the following things, pacing up and down. Did you do that?
Did a bit of pacing.
I do so much pacing.
Yeah, you
My
do.
neighbors must hate me. I'm a 4 a.m. pacer. When I'm like deep in a Wikipedia odyssey, or like, I'm just thinking about something, then I pace. I get up and I sign it, because everyone here knows that I talk to myself.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it just happens.
It's very weird.
When I'm having internal thoughts, my mouth moves at the same time and also produces the noise, so I am basically talking to myself.
I thought you were possessed sometimes. I'm just like, you just see him like walking with his head down. Going,
what was it like when you like first noticed
like,
I talked to
what
myself?
are you doing?
You're like, this Dan guy is pretty cool, but I think he's gonna kill me.
You're like, maybe I shouldn't ask. I'm just going to back away slowly.
A lot of pacing.
Yeah, so that was in the montage.
Okay, so pacing, yes. Compulsive eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, just endlessly, compulsively comfort eating.
Marshmallows, Haribo.
It was a bad couple months, right?
Endless-
In this book, I was just kind of like, I don't know what to think, so I'm going to replace my thinking with pizza. Was kind of the solution to every problem.
We went through a bit where we were like, let's try every type of flavored popcorn, and that will help with the book. So
that was actually something we did.
I'll write 100 words, and I'll get to try that with popcorn. By the way, berry and lemon popcorn.
Horrible.
It's not good.
Mistake.
It's a
Travesties against
mistake.
nature.
Science went too far.
Berry popcorn. It was horrifying.
Yeah.
I've never felt more betrayed.
Have you seen that popcorn that they have in, I think when I went to Philadelphia, that is cheese and caramel?
Cheese and
And
caramel.
as soon as you come out the airport, cheese and caramel popcorn. They're
No.
like, it's our thing. You're
That's-
like, I don't want it to be your
I
thing.
can't
I
do
think
cheese.
I'm up for that. I don't
You're
know.
up for that?
Phil's severely cheese phobic,
Yes,
he would
so
not. That would
that's
kill
going to
you,
be a
yeah.
strong no for
That's
Phil.
a strong no from me.
Okay, and thirdly, the other thing they do in montages where people are creatively blocked is a weird thing where they sit on the floor and bounce a ball against the wall and catch it over and over again. Did you do that? I've never understood that.
I
but
don't
that's
have
a
any
thing.
coordination, so I'd probably just bounce in, it'd smack me in the face.
One bang. There we go. That's what I get for trying that. For me, it's just lying face down on the floor, isn't it? Yeah.
Existential crisis
Yeah,
mode.
Did that a few times.
Yeah.
Let's see what we've got here. Emma from London. Emma, where are you? Do you want to give a little
Hi,
ring
Emma.
there, darling?
Hi.
The Vegas section of the book sounded intense. Did you suffer any long-term physical injuries? Hashtag troll smiley face.
I mean, there were lots of. I mean, like, who decided that Phil could attempt so many dangerous things?
I know.
Running and jumping. Tracking through the desert for days, that was hard and
I'd
dangerous,
had no
wasn't it?
helicopter training, and the fact that I just got in that helicopter and went
It
for
was
it.
brave, but it was necessary.
It
I
was.
mean, really, just running through a gunfight isn't a safe thing to do, but we had to do it because we were in the situation.
And some people don't believe this happened, but we've given photographic
Like,
evidence
honestly,
in the
it's
book.
like,
I mean, what more do you
we
need?
lost the videos, but we took photos. We showed the entire story from front to back with photos, and still people are like, I don't think you saw aliens. It's like, I literally took a picture of a flying saucer.
So
Well,
there you go.
want from
What more
us?
do you need?
If it's on the internet, it's real. We know this to be a fact. Where are we go? Oh no, that's the same question again. Why are we here? I don't know what this is because it's a technical term. I'm
Uh-oh.
Okay.
147 years old, but it says, are you going to make an ASMR channel? What's that?
That's the thing that I've only
Is that
recently
rude?
discovered. No, it's not rude.
Have I just said a bad thing?
It sounds like it's like, uh-oh, no, but it's fine.
If I
It's
ever find my
basically, like,
ASMR channel, I'll be scared.
sensual talking that people find like meditative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sensual talking.
Some people have like really, I was going to say erotic, that's not the
No,
word.
it's not
Just
erotic.
kind of sensual voices that some people find like really calming or
And
like
if it's
interesting
like
or
really
soothing.
like if you go, hello, I'm whispering, it can make people's scalp tingle. It's a thing.
So some people
Tingly
do like
scalp.
they do like pretend videos where you're getting a haircut from this person with a lovely voice, and it's kind of like you just put it on
Yeah.
and you're like,
But
yes, I'm imagining this. And we uploaded a trailer for our audiobook yesterday,
Yes.
which was a disaster. And then now people are asking us if we're going to do that
Yeah.
full time. Clearly not a good idea.
But the thing we did with the trailer, it was a 3D audio trailer.
So it's called binaural technology. That's a word for you right there.
We did it with a company called Something Else, and basically there's a mannequin's head in the middle of a room, and you
It's
act
very
out.
creepy.
You act out whatever you're doing around the mannequin's head, and then if you're listening with your eyes closed and headphones, you can hear us behind you, in front of you, or drying your hair, which is what I
people
did.
like that.
They
That's
like
the
it.
good thing.
It's
Yes.
kind of,
Yeah.
well, I mean, like, and it was right down the middle between this is really cool and amazing / what are you
Like,
doing?
get
Why
off
are you
my
making
neck?
these noises? Oh! So we wanted it to be quite funny as well.
Yeah.
And what are do you do special voices for this? Can you do the special voices now? What are the special voices?
What we were like, sorry if I get too close to your ears.
I don't know. Is it creepy when I'm behind your neck? I hope you don't like the mouth noises. And that's not even with headphones. It's just generally horrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
We've got one from Nicole here. How does it feel to know that so many people love and appreciate your book? Where's
Oh, Nicole.
Nicole, you ask a lovely question.
Nicole.
Oh.
All flattered now.
Good.
No, it makes me feel really nice that people have read the book and they appreciate it. But my favorite thing is actually people who have made friends through watching our videos or through reading the book or anything like that.
That's the nicest thing you can hear, isn't it?
yeah.
One of them.
And so if you go to a meetup and they're like, I've actually made my best friend through watching your videos.
When we're on tour,
Yeah.
when we meet people, when we do meet and greets, they're kind of like, I'm here with my 3 best friends who are all from different, ends of the country, and
Yeah.
we met because we just kind of talked about your videos on Tumblr. We're like,
Oh.
I'm going to start dribbling on you. Yeah.
So if there's ever a Phil and Dan wedding from people having met through,
Yeah.
through
We have
you,
to attend
would you
them all.
attend
We
have
that
to attend
wedding?
that
Yeah, because
wedding,
we're kind of
yeah.
like, we are your internet fathers.
Yes.
You have our blessing. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then would you insist that their children would A, have to be twins and B,
Obviously,
be called
yes.
Phil and Dan?
Yes,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah.
And
Or if it
Dylan,
was
they have
one
a third
child just called Phil and Dan, all one word.
Phil
just
and
that that would
Dan.
be.
Phil and Dan.
Or the Dill.
Or
that's
Dill,
good.
yeah.
Or Dill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and we need a girl version of Dill, don't we? That's
Yeah.
fine, we should think about that.
A girl version of
Yeah,
Dill.
we'll get thinking about that.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. I mean, honestly, the reason we made the whole book in the first place is obviously to kind of, to preserve Dan and Phil and to do something to celebrate these guys. So the fact that we made the book for these guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it was fun for us and it was good for us and we enjoyed everything about making a book. But really, the reason we made this Dan and Phil book was for the people that have
Yeah.
watched and supported our videos over the years. So for them to be like, I really like this, I'm really happy, that's good. Because if they went, you made it for us, it was a bit of a flop, we'd be
Yeah.
like, okay,
Oh.
we tried. That's good.
Well, number one, baby, it's not a flop. It's hurrah.
Yeah.
Hurrah for being number one. Hurrah for being number one.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you.
What were the books that you loved when you were sort of kids, teenagers? What were the ones that got you through? Did you have authors or books that you were just like, this is my Bible, this is keeping me sane?
I was a strange horror fiend,
Yeah.
so I read all of the Stephen King books. His short stories
Explains a lot,
Yeah, it
doesn't
probably
it?
explains
Yeah.
a lot. I read his short stories loads of times. I read The Shining, which messed me up as a child.
Just
As a
for many
child.
years.
Yeah, so I read a lot. I read the Northern Lights trilogy. I really liked that.
Quite
They're
inspiring.
amazing,
They're
aren't they? Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
I was in
Yeah.
quite the cool position where I was the same age as Harry Potter in the books, which
Oh,
was like
wow.
that golden moment. So literally from Philosopher's Stone to Deathly Hallows. Like I was reading it with my mum when I was about to go to secondary school with Philosopher's Stone, and then I was literally sat in a park reading Deathly Hallows with my teenage friends as we were about to finish school. So I had the absolute max emotional impact Hogwarts experience going through all of that, which was good. It's completely living vicariously through the wizarding world. And then the emotionally harrowing crater that it
That
left all of us when
behind.
it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever dress up as him? With the parties,
Yeah, at
Halloween?
least twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm called Daniel. all right.
And did you make good Potter? Did you look at yourself and go, I am good Potter?
Do you think
I think I drew on my forehead with a red biro, so I think the production budget could have been improved.
Just
but
looking at yourself in the
I
mirror.
cared and I tried.
You're a wizard, Dan. That's what you're saying to yourself.
Yes, in the
Yeah.
Hagrid voice.
In the Hagrid voice.
I guess a lot of people will be buying the book or getting the book for Christmas. What are your plans for Christmas? Looking ahead, what are you guys going to be doing? What's your Christmas plans?
Hibernating.
Yes.
Gonna hibernate.
In the both food and sleep sense.
Yeah.
I plan to just consume extreme amounts of food and then sleep for a month. I think that's my December plan.
I'm planning on watching all of the Star Wars movies.
Yay.
Because
Yes, that needs
I've
to
watched
happen,
them in ages
doesn't
and
it?
I'm going to go watch the new one with my family, I think.
In what order are you going to watch Star Wars in, and in what order do you eat your Christmas dinner? Two
Oh.
very important questions.
Let's not get those mixed up.
Are
Yes.
you going to watch the Jar Jar films, or are you just going to go
Yeah.
stick with the original?
No, I think I'm just going to watch the original ones and then the new ones, because that's the...
The new what?
Oh, no,
You
that's
watch
confusing.
the original
Where are we
trilogy,
going?
then the one that's coming out
Yes.
now.
Yes.
I
Just
can skip
pretend-
the Jar Jar universe, because I've seen that quite recently, so
Yeah.
I'm,
Oh,
I'm
right.
all right.
Okay, you'd covered that.
And what order are you going to eat
Yeah.
your Christmas dinner?
Approach the dinner. I'm someone that likes to combine every aspect of the plate at once for the maximum food experience. Do you guys do this?
Yeah.
Because some
Yeah.
people are I'll eat this, then I'll eat the Brussels sprouts, then I'll eat the stuffing, then I'll do this. Whereas I'm kind of no, I need, it's designed to be eaten as a complete package. Therefore, I will cut a tiny bit of everything, put it all on my fork and be this is it.
This is the moment.
I've scientifically created the optimum fork. There we go. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Do that about 20
I'm
times.
learning a lot about you now. Yeah, I'm one of those people that forces everyone to play board games. I'm like, no, we're not leaving the table until this Monopoly game is over. I don't care if it's 4 in the morning.
I had a 24-hour game of Monopoly once. It was
Did
a
you?
nightmare. It's a truly horrific game.
Really?
It can ruin friendships.
How can it have gone on for 24 hours with people just falling asleep in the middle of it? Or
Really,
was that
it just
continuous?
never ends,
Yeah.
don't it? Yeah.
I threw a hotel at my brother once. I get quite aggressive.
Wow.
An
Yeah.
actual
When you're
build.
Monopoly,
It's one of
it's
those
extreme
boasts that sounds less impressive when you know it's a Monopoly
You know
hotel
it's a
rather
Monopoly
than
hotel.
an actual building.
It was actually a
but
whole
yes.
Marriott, just to try and restrain my superpowers. Yeah.
Have you seen that website that tells you how you can win Monopoly really easily and ruins it for you?
No!
It's really easy. Do you want me to tell you?
Don't tell me!
But then you would win forever.
But then there's no magic of the dice.
Phil's in it for the forced bonding around
I
the
am.
dining table more than the winning.
I'm more in it for that.
For
Yeah.
the enforced property development of speculation.
Yes, yes.
Microcosm of 21st century consumerism.
Yay!
Monopoly.
Yay, Christmas. And then obviously after Christmas, New Year. Do you then go out and enlarge it for New Year? Do you have plans for the NYE?
Me and Phil never have
Uh,
plans.
no,
in here. So it's
actually-
like, everyone's like, "You're going to a party?" We're like,
Last year,
Sherlock special and Domino's.
last year I actually made the weakest link, and I created it on our door. I was Anne Robinson. I got all
When
of our
Phil
friends.
says he's all about the force
No,
bonding,
that's
you
it.
don't understand. He
I
made
mean-
a weakest link game and then forced everybody to play
Yeah.
it whilst assuming the characteristics of Anne Robinson.
See, who needs to go to a nightclub when you've got real life weakest link at
Seriously,
home?
guys, outside
way.
is overrated.
Yeah.
In a way, I see what you mean there, yes.
Thank you.
You were being quite strict though. You weren't
I was.
tolerating any banter among the people. You were like, Dan, this is not funny. What do you call that haircut? Oh, my Phil. God.
I was
Don't need
actually
to
on
bully
the
me.
weakest link at one point in my life, so
Yes.
I had experience there, so I thought I'd
You were just
relive
giving
those
yourself
emotions.
therapy, working out
Yeah.
the kind of bullying from Anne.
I
And
was.
how did you do on the real weakest link, and how did you do
On
on
the
the full
fake
weakest
weakest
link?
link.
How
You
did
win.
that?
No, PJ won the weakest
Of course,
link.
PJ won. We have a friend who wins everything.
He does.
He's very competitive.
Yeah. I actually came second in the weakest link, got to the final, and then messed up a question about llamas of all things.
It was
Yeah.
like if you watch it, it's incredible because Phil did really well this
Yeah.
entire and like the weakest link is hard and it's intense.
hard.
You know,
It's so
And he
scary.
was up against this
It's like a nightmare.
lady in her 40s that was wise and like knew so many things about culture and the world, and it was all like,
Yeah.
"Come on, Phil, you're not going to do this." But he was doing it, and then can I say the question?
Go on,
It was
then.
really funny, and then you can say the answer.
All
They were
right.
like, "What animal that is known for its fur have the first two letters are the same?" Obviously,
Llama.
Yeah,
I heard
obviously.
I heard no two letters are the same, so I said
Which could have been sheep, it could have been literally any fur-based animal.
I said GNU.
What? What?
I don't know. I don't
Like,
know.
literally-
Let's move on.
Yeah, wow.
I hope for many weeks afterwards you just
GNU.
went up to him and went GNU,
Yeah,
just in the middle of a conversation.
I did.
Winning the
GNU.
weakest link could have been like the biggest moment of your entire life, and you threw it away with like literally
GNU.
the worst answer ever.
Yeah. Bad times.
Enough times.
So you're on tour at the moment, finishes this Sunday.
Oh
Finishes
my
this
God.
Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been 5 weeks of being on tour now.
How has that happened?
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been doing a stage show, which is The Amazing Tour Is Not on Fire.
Yeah,
Yes.
good name there.
Yeah.
I have seen it.
I was
It is
about to say,
amazing.
oh,
thank
it's
you.
it's,
Thank
it's
you.
extraordinary. The atmosphere outside is proper Beatlemania, just like proper screaming and just so many cat faces. It's just very,
Lots of
very
whiskers.
touching.
It's
Yes.
good.
Yeah, and we've been planning it for so long, haven't we? How long have we been working on it now?
For like the whole year.
Yeah.
It's crazy because the whole year we were kind of thinking, we're going on tour this autumn. Everybody's bought tickets, and we were kind of like, we need to like decide what we're doing soon. And it's one of those
Yeah.
things where you've had the ideas for years. You know,
Yeah.
very like vague. I'm sure you've had this, like
Yeah.
about projects you might do in the future. You have the very vague ideas, but then there comes the time when you actually have to really specifically plan what
Literally
it
It's
is.
do
happening.
It, yeah. You have to
Yeah.
do
And we
it,
were
yes.
like, oh my god! Without spoiling the show, we had a lot of big, exciting ideas for things that people definitely wouldn't have expected, and we
Yeah.
were like, "That's a fun idea." But then the time came, and we were like, "We have to commit to this idea now, and
Yeah.
can we even do these things?" And it's perilous. You injured
There is
yourself
peril.
a couple times.
Yeah, I've burnt myself. I've cut my hand open. I mean,
I slipped
real
over
peril
and
on
I
stage.
sprained my ankle once. Yeah, it's good. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah. Also, just like driving up and down the country, I've seen Nottingham, I've seen Glasgow, I've seen.
It's quite beautiful, the
Yeah,
UK
loads of
countryside, isn't it,
places.
actually? I mean, I think Glasgow back was the best journey. What are the mountains in Scotland?
The Scottish
the
mountains.
The Scott Mounts.
Those ones,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
scenic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that driving to Basingstoke was less scenic. We still appreciated it. You know,
We
it's
did.
good.
It's a really beautiful show. It makes you feel very, very happy to watch
Oh,
it.
thank
It's
you.
just a
Yeah, that
really
was
happy
great.
place.
Yeah,
I
thank
can
you.
imagine anybody watching it would be cured of many ailments.
Oh,
It's a beautiful
so,
thing.
yeah.
It's like lovely heart medicine. I'm
Oh.
very, very happy watching
Just
it.
to be clear, we're not faith healers, but
That's the next
Don't rule
one.
it out
I won't
now.
rule it out.
2017, yeah, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted people to come away with a feeling of like that they.
You know, those same messages that we
Yeah.
were talking about with the book, we really wanted to kind of give everybody the Dan and Phil feeling and like somehow encapsulate everything Dan and Phil into one show again. So we
Yeah.
don't aim high, Phil, do we? Like, let's define our existences in a stage show.
I've learned things as well, like stage left and stage right.
Yes, confusing.
Yeah, and the
Not what
pl-
you think. It's like steering a boat, isn't it?
It is like
Yeah.
steering a boat, and
And
this.
Phil can't do left and right
I can't.
anyway, so that was like...
So if you see me wander
very
off that way
proud.
and then the other way on stage, that's what's going on. And also the Palladium's on a slant as well.
Yeah, we're
The rake.
ending the show in the
A
London
rake.
Palladium, which is crazy,
Yeah.
which is amazing. I mean, we've been to a right few venues. We went to a hockey arena in Plymouth, didn't we? It's really fun, honestly, like playing to
Yeah.
loads of different crowds and loads of different spaces, and then you go to like the big fancy theatres, and all of a sudden it's like, all of a sudden.
Well, what was
Serious
great about you
business.
doing it at the Palladium is it's where Cats is usually on. So everyone had the whiskers outside, and then the Cat's eyes
It
from
was-
the
it
logo
was
was
more
still all
Cats.
over the building.
It
It
was
was
still
like it's like you themed it and spent a lot of money
Yeah.
doing it.
And the funniest thing is the Cats set, which kind of looks like an alleyway that cats would loiter in,
Yeah.
takes up loads of the room, but we couldn't remove it just with a thing, so we've kind of like draped over the cat
draped
set
over the set.
for our thing.
That's- if you like peep behind it, you can like see a massive Toblerone or something in the background.
Tell you what, the dressing room in the Palladium is the fanciest place in the entire world.
Really?
Yeah.
Go
It's,
on.
it's impressive, and not all of them have been. Like especially old theatres, they're kind of like, this smells like a basement. But they're apparently they're redoing the building, and we figured out it's because Nicole Scherzinger was in Cats.
I was gonna say,
They're like, oh
yeah,
my god,
yeah.
if we're redoing the building,
got her
we need
dressing
to start
room.
with Nicole's dressing room.
We
And
got
it's-
there.
It's got like an orchid in a vase. We were like,
What
what
is
is this?
this?
It's like this is the Nicole experience,
Yeah.
Phil.
Also, a bit of leftover, they had some soy sauce and truffles.
That's
That's
her
obviously
rider,
what she
yes.
asked for.
Were they
Yeah.
Nicole's soy sauce
Just
and
like
truffles?
pour soy sauce all over the truffles.
Whereas our rider that we don't have is like some squares.
Salt and vinegar squares, yeah, a can of Coke.
Did you have a
Phil
pre-stage
sorted.
ritual? What would you do to hype each other up? I mean, like Madonna obviously goes into a huddle and prays.
think-
What would you?
Just like silently browse Tumblr for a while and like
Just
focus
get
your
on
mind.
the internet. We have a playlist that we play before every show, which we curated ourselves.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We're very proud of the playlist. We were like, we need to like sum up like the last 5 years of musical references and things that people will like. And we can hear it when we turn the speakers on. And
Yeah.
every single show, you can hear the crowd singing the words to every song.
And that's
So
nice.
we don't need to do anything to get ourselves
That's
pumped up
like
for the
plugging
show,
us
other
up
than
for it.
like listening to these guys singing the like rendition of the Circle of Life.
Circle of
Yeah.
Life, that does it for me.
Spoiler, that is in the playlist, and it's
Oh,
incredible.
breaking free from High School Musical as well. Laura Vans in the
You
air and
too.
crying.
Yeah.
I got quite
Yeah.
tearful for that one, to
You
be
got
honest.
teary.
I had. Yeah,
Aw.
I love that song.
Good singers, our audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
well
were.
done,
They-
guys.
They
Yeah,
sang.
good
They did
voices.
well. Okay, another question from the audience. Yeah, what was the funniest moment on the tour bus then? What I mean,
Oh.
did you have a tour bus, or were you just kind of?
It's kind of like a tour van.
Yeah.
Like, England isn't really big enough to warrant a tour bus
Is
because
it
it's like
tour car?
Tour
Yeah,
car.
it was a tour car. I mean, Phil cannot control the crumbs of anything that he eats. So, like, Phil versus a pastry first in the morning is like, put up the shields.
It's like a tidal wave of
And, like,
crumbs.
literally, it's like you end up with like pastry flakes in your hair, and it's like, what happened? Phil versus croissants.
I think that the main drama has been my travel sickness. So Dan's just sat there on a laptop, and I'm
like
just
emailing,
like staring
editing
out the
videos.
window, like I can't look at anything. Don't even talk to me. But I've got used to it.
You survived without projectile vomiting on
did.
me in the car, which is good.
And
Yeah.
which travel sickness remedies have you tried? Have you done the little bracelety thing?
Yeah, they freak me out though. They
You
press,
bought one of those,
Yeah,
didn't you?
it presses into your vein, which makes your hand really cold, which then distracts your brain because your hand is cold and doesn't make you sick.
But that's far more traumatizing than just being. So Phil tried it and he was like,
Why is
I
my
don't
hand
like
cold?"
it, I just want to feel queasy. So then that was that.
Yeah, so I tried that, and then just not going on a laptop has really helped. That's the cure.
Yeah.
Sometimes Phil's just like, check that there isn't a typo down, I can't look at the phone anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's
and
hard to
also,
tweet
why are
and
you
drive.
asking me to check your typos? I'm just going to hand that back to you.
And okay, so your most annoying thing is your constant nausea.
Yes.
What's the most annoying thing?
What's the most annoying thing about Dan?
Yeah.
Is it that I don't get motion sick and
Yeah,
I'm just sat there
probably.
like enjoying browsing for an hour?
You have the ability to do that.
I have the
reckon.
ability to enjoy life in a moving vehicle, yeah.
Yeah, I think that actually.
I can imagine that must be pretty traumatizing.
Or sometimes I'll be like starting a conversation. I look over and Dan's just asleep. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
That's
talk to
Wanna
me.
talk about this interesting thing. No.
Yeah.
Here we go. We've got another one from the audience here. Can you do an impression of your fan meme?
Or your fave meme.
Oh, your fave meme. I thought it was a fan meme. It's like,
What is that?
All the fans in one go?
I don't know.
Why
Because
not?
there's a lot of memes out there.
Yeah.
That was the latest one. There was one recently. There was a photo of us where I'm leaning on Phil's shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
And the joke there was to edit out Phil
And just
replace me leaning on shoulders onto various celebrities. It's so funny because like
I saw an Obama one.
I just accept that like my life is a joke. Like I'm just a piece of meat for the internet to do like whatever they want with. And it's like it's fine. So I'm just like scrolling through Tumblr, just like oh god. Well, half of these are offensive.
My favourite ones was you on Obama and you on some bacon, I saw as well.
I didn't see the bacon.
Bacon was a
I
good
saw
one.
me and Nick Jonas. That fit very well, actually.
Yeah.
Clearly meant to be. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Generally, this.
Me and Nick Jonas have a very
They've got a history.
unfortunate ship name.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that on the radio once,
You
didn't I?
did.
I got a stern word from the BBC after I said that on the radio. Didn't think it through. Yeah.
I was going to say, you generally keep it fairly clean. You know?
Yeah.
You're quite composed. Have you ever thought about having like a kind of dark bad side channel at any point?
People,
and just
people are shocked
properly-
that I didn't swear in the book.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
a big thing, aren't they? They're like, Dan, I mean, how did you not want to do that? I felt like, I wanted to respect the book. I didn't want to, and also you probably wouldn't be allowed in a Barnes and Noble if
I
you
think,
kind of
Dan does swear quite a lot on the internet, don't you?
when appropriate.
Where
When-
appropriate swearing.
Only when incredibly appropriate.
And what are the appropriate times?
Whenever you kind of get, interested enough in something to just get carried away. Because I think, it's such a joy about emphasizing something with
Yeah.
an unnecessary F-bomb. And it's like, I feel like this is coming, bam, there we go.
Or if
that's
you're
up there.
scared by a giant mechanical bear, then you just
Yes,
can't.
or if I'm falling off a chair, that happens sometimes.
That's during our spooky gaming channel videos.
Only, I'm not crude though. It's only ever appropriate. I do
Okay.
bleep out crude swear words, as these guys know, because there's just because you're using a word colourfully doesn't mean there's any reason to be offensive. So
No.
a good tasteful bleep.
Well, no, you tend to use it in righteous anger, which is kind of
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
when it's time to use it as a little
Absolutely.
weapon.
Yeah.
That's the right way to use it.
to bludgeon someone with.
Yes. We are in the Apple Store at the moment. If you could steal any piece of tech from this building, what would you go for? If you could
Oh,
stick
wow.
anything up your coat and run.
Another
what would
charger.
you-
Where do they go?
Where did they just disappear?
We lose them. We have like 6, and I'm like, oh my god.
I heard they've made the next few iPhones already, so I might just go find the iPhone 9 underground
Cheeky
somewhere.
ruffle backstage. Yeah.
It's here somewhere.
It's here
You
somewhere.
just have to find it.
I swear I buy a new phone charger every 2 weeks though. It's like sock goblins, which is the
Yes.
thing that I strongly believe in. I have bought, because you can go on websites, bulk warehouse websites, and just get plain black socks, which is what I buy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, pack of 56, let's
Where
do
do they
this
go?
right now. And I've done that twice this year, and yet today I was like, where are my socks? How can you buy over 100 pairs of plain black socks and not know where any of them are? There is no logical explanation for it.
But
Sock goblins.
I think I actually might just steal this chair. It makes you feel quite important at
I
director's
love a
chair,
director's
doesn't
chair. I
it?
think it's the first time I've ever sat in one. I'm like,
Yeah.
look at
It's
me.
a director's chair.
I'm an
Formidable.
artist.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Look at me. I could do this and
Look at me out.
put my hand on my knee and stuff.
Dan, do you secretly have any colourful items of clothing whatsoever? Have you
No,
got like
I-
a yellow T-shirt that you wear on a sunny day that you keep private and hidden?
I have one jumper that looks really scary that has some red in it, and I allow that because red is like blood. It's like edgy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's good. And I have one T-shirt that's actually some MIA merch, and I was like, she's really cool, so I'll allow her to be the one splash of color in my otherwise, funeral aesthetic.
I think on
tried to
April
adhere
Fool's
to.
Day we should just get you in full neon, head to toe.
flashing
Yeah.
like LEDs under the T-shirt. Yeah.
Big white onesie.
Yeah.
We've got time for one more question, one of which is going to be for me. I want to know what the longest is that you've gone without Wi-Fi or internet.
Oh dear God! The worst thing about being on tour is the lack of Wi-Fi commitment, and I know that's the lamest answer ever. But honestly, the thing that's given me the most stress is I get to a hotel and I'm like, the Wi-Fi is slow. Because when you go somewhere and you can't load a GIF,
Yeah.
you just take it for granted. You're just like, I'm just on websites and they work, and then you go somewhere and it's like you can load Facebook, see pictures, but then when you can't load a GIF or like a YouTube video, you're like, am I gonna have to go down to 144p? And it's like, oh my god, they look like a potato. I can't do this. I had a few tears.
It is quite worrying though. I do get the Wi-Fi shakes. If I can't get on, I'll be like, what's on my Twitter? I need to
you're
look.
on the motorway, and then suddenly it goes from like 3G to E, and you're like, oh no, oh, what do I do?
I think I do need to go full wilderness at some point though, and just like sleep in a tent,
Rip off the plaster.
avoid some bears, just get at one with nature.
I'm sure you could survive the bears, Phil. That's a great
think so.
idea. Yes, you definitely come back alive.
Yeah.
We
Thanks,
can't live
Dan.
without the internet. There's absolutely no way.
No.
And finally, let's look forward to the next year.
Ooh.
What have you got that you can tell us that you're doing next year?
That was unexpectedly deep and weird.
Was that uncomfortable? I'm very sorry.
That was ASMR, wasn't it? Next year, what's happening?
Well, we're about to finish our UK tour, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But obviously, YouTube, the beauty of it is that it's all around the world. So if the reason that we're doing this show is to give, all of the people out there that have seen our videos the opportunity to like see us in real life and have the live Danville experience and just to come together as a community, it's very important to us that we take that around the world as much as possible. So what we've been working on right now for a long time is working out where we can go and when.
And how that can happen.
And how that can happen. So we definitely want to take our Dan and Phil show and take it to as many places as we can.
I want to go hang out with some kangaroos in Australia.
Is that your goal?
That's given
Phil,
away
just
where
think
one
about
of
the
the tours
kangaroos,
is,
yeah. And 2 months in Australia for some kangaroo bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Some
good.
wombat wrangling.
And so that's that. More YouTube videos. Please don't get arrested, Phil.
Okay.
Otherwise you won't be able to go to the other places.
Okay, I'll try.
All the usual Dan and Phil stuff, and then I'm looking no further forward than that. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. If you want me to plank face down on the floor, I can do that right now. But
Go for it, my friend.
That's the plan.
So, would you consider releasing a single at any point?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I mean, that's. You say you want that. Really?
I'm saying that was market research right
It's
there.
not
market
that
research.
nothing's off the table. It's just that just because some things are on it doesn't mean they're a good idea. I mean,
Yeah.
we could do the Dan and there are so many things that just went in my mind then that I won't say out loud. There's lots of bad ideas.
There's
Let's
lots of
just
bad
say
ideas
that.
out
We'll
there.
stick to the good ones.
Sitcom? Would you do that? TV?
Dan and Phil,
Yeah.
cheesy sitcom.
I would. Who would not want to watch that? That'd
Our
be
life is the
extraordinary.
sitcom.
Our life
in a
is
way,
basically a
isn't it?
sitcom. Yeah, definitely.
Two guys living in a house that just aren't functional in any way. That is our YouTube channels already, I think.
Yeah.
That's the pitch.
That's the
Well,
pitch.
that's it. We're out of time. That's the perfect
Oh.
place to leave it. That is the pitch.
Thank you so much.
No,
Thank you so
thank you
much.
so much,
It was so
guys.
fun being in conversation
Yeah.
with you.
And
I like
thanks
that.
everyone
It
that's
makes it
coming.
sound so formal. This was a great conversation.
Yeah.
I listened so happily. It's so lovely to meet
thank
you
you.
guys. Guys, thank you so
Thanks
much.
very
Dan
much,
and Phil.
everyone. Thank you.
And thank you guys for coming. Hope you had a
Yeah.
good night. And shout
Let
bottle
us
fall.
fall from the sky. There we go. Put that there.
I'm not saying that my law degree was completely useless, but it has been mostly completely useless so far. I'll let you guys know. Yeah.
And you've spoken about the dangers of the internet before now and how the internet can become a nasty place. Do you think that we should have someone in charge of the internet, like a mum or a dad of the internet,
a
who
mum of
gets
the
to
internet.
tell off bad people and go, that was wrong?
I think the internet is too powerful to be tamed by anyone. It has
Yeah.
to, it's quite important for the internet to be a completely free and open place there on the internet. But I think that there's a lot of websites that probably don't do enough to protect people from being harassed if they don't want to be, just because there's so many things where it's like you block someone and like you can still see them on their timeline and stuff. I don't think
Yeah.
there should be any all-powerful force on the internet, but if somebody has like built a community, then they have a responsibility to try and like build all the features as possible for people to completely control how they're interacted with.
Well, you started the hashtag Nicer Internet
Yeah, the Nicer
campaign.
Internet thing we did with Radio 1.
Yeah.
That was good.
So that was trying to tell people to be a bit nicer online.
Lots of wisdom packed into there.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, that the internet is too big to be controlled by one or two people, but if you do imagine it being controlled by Sir Ian McKellen, who plays Gandalf, and
Then
Beyonce,
suddenly
would
I
that
would
not
agree.
be quite a good place to be?
I think
That would be an
Gandalf and
improvement.
Beyonce would
Yeah.
definitely improve the internet in a big way.
And Beyonce's got time.
I mean,
She's
Beyonce already
of course.
controls the internet, just with her pop culture influence.
Yeah.
She's out there.
So here we go. So the book. We're going to speak of the book now.
The book.
There's two questions here from Kira. Can we have a hand and a scream?
Kira.
Do a scream, or you can do a yo if you're not a screamer. That's good.
That was
That
a
was
strong
good.
noise, thank you.
That was
I felt the
nice.
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
That was dignified. Your first question is, what's your favourite page written by the other person?
Ooh.
The hand. I mean,
hand.
come on, guys. I mean, we've all been there, right? Was that just one page? Is it? But no. I love getting nibbled on the Florida. It's a
Yeah.
good start to any day, isn't it?
What about you, Dan?
first I was like, that's just funny because it makes no sense. Now the more I think about it, I'm like,
What does that mean?
appendix. Is this going to get flagged? Can
Maybe.
things get
I think
flagged?
it's gonna get flagged.
It's going to be buried right in the corner of the iTunes store. Videos.
What
inspiration.
inspires you to make videos?
I just kind of like force my opinions upon people. So I'm like, what do I feel like I want to hear people talking about that I just feel like, you want to hear my opinion on this? Yeah, that's basically what I do.
And do you study in any way? Do you read all of the newspapers and decide to argue with people? Or do you watch all of the television and go,
I'd go on like 30-hour Wikipedia odysseys before some videos, which is bad. Do you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
You go on Wikipedia
Yes,
and it's like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And then it's 4 a.m. and
Yeah.
you're like, why am I reading about oil rigs?
Yeah. That
kind
random
of like-
button is dangerous.
Because I'm like, I don't want to give an opinion on the internet without being mildly educated, because as we all know, the internet will destroy you for
They will.
anything. You see, like you made it like a typo, even if the argument was right. Destruction. So you really, and I make so many typos anyway, so there's no point at all.
Yeah.
They know, seriously. My Twitter's just a train wreck, but I try.
Can you say now at the age you're at whether you think you've learnt more from your education or from the internet?
I think definitely from the internet.
From the internet. Yeah. I mean, like an entire year's worth of school is just like one search term away, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I did post-production at university, so that helped me like animate Jennifer Lawrence's face across a screen and things
You
like
actually
that.
did something relevant.
I did something
Do you
relevant.
know how rare that is, Phil?
But apart from that, I think I learned far more from the internet and just my life experiences as well. Like making videos about university or my school life or things that I've done, I think have helped a lot more of my videos than my education. What was that?
I'm not saying... Step one, we didn't trip up the stairs. Yes, yes.
Hello, everyone.
Yes,
Thanks for coming.
Hi. Thanks for
Hi.
coming. No worries.
Was that brief hiatus there when you were working out what order you should be in? Because
Yeah,
you were
we were
talking
like, do
about
we
this
have an
before.
order? Yeah.
We met Ant and Dec and they said, you need an order, guys. And we were like, what? Why do we need an order?
You met Ant and Dec.
Yes.
They are the most aspirational people you'll
They
ever
are
meet.
so
They're
lovely, aren't
organised. They knew what they were
Yeah.
doing with their lives.
If
were
they
well
tell you
groomed.
something, you should do it. That's all I know. So
And did they explain in what order they stand and what logic they have chosen that, and then how you should
logic
choose
behind
your logic?
I think it's just in the Ant and Dec order with your eyes. So if you see Ant
The
and
name
Dec,
you say first on the left, I think
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the deep theory behind that one.
And did you straight away agree with that? You knew
Yeah.
which order you should stand in?
We were
Yeah.
just like, okay, we'll do whatever you say.
we almost fought to the death. No, let's not lie.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Senpai is what you call someone you respect on the internet. So Ant and Dec were our senpais,
They were.
and we listened to them. Yeah.
Where did you meet them? Were you at a showbiz party?
We were actually
Well, yeah, because we go to parties at all. No, we were at the Brits.
we were at the Brit Awards. We were doing some presenting, so we snuck around backstage and we grabbed them for 5 minutes.
Oh, and
Because
you,
they were the proper presenters of the Brits, and we were like the weird internet ones at the back of the building. So we briefly walked past them, and we're like, and that was basically it.
and who else were you most excited about meeting there at the Brits? You remember who else you bumped into?
We saw Ed Sheeran again.
Yeah, Ed
He's very
Sheeran
nice.
again.
He's cool. He's a nice person. So if you believe in Ed, good.
Yeah.
He picked
Also,
a nice guy.
RJ Mitty from Breaking Bad was there.
That
I
was a
like,
surprise,
Walter
wasn't he?
Jr. Yeah, I had to give him a big hug.
And
You
was there
did say
anyone-
hello first, otherwise
did.
he would have been very scared. Yeah.
And was there anyone there that you would have tried to avoid? Have you got any... Let's face it, you're not here for me. I'm not here for me. We know who we're here for. This is the bit where I get to be like the voiceover man on X Factor. His name's Peter Dixon, fact fans, because I'm going to wheel out some big facts in a dramatic voice whilst going like this as a visual accompaniment. One started in 2006 at the age of 19, the other in 2009 at the age of 18. It was immediately noticeable they were both weird, funny, and hot. When they combined forces, the world essentially exploded. Together they have 8 million subscribers on one hell of a lot of chemistry and hair. As Radio 1 presenters, they won a Solely Golden Headphones Award. They had cameo roles in Disney's Big Hero 6, which is as near as you can get to coming to be immortalized by God. Dan has touched Jennifer Lawrence's hand in a bonding high fives moment, whilst Phil has a superior educational qualification and is in the Guinness Book of Records as the fastest coin stacker in the world. Seemingly uncontent with having conquered the world of internet and broadcast, they have moved like sexy conquering locusts into literature. with their debut book, which has been #1 both here and in America in the young adult hardcover list, which sounds rude but is real and important. The book is The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire, and they are, as you well know, Dan Howell and Phil Lester, aka The Amazing Phil and Dan Is Not on Fire. Come join us on the stage. Feuds yet? Is there anyone that you have displeased?
No
Very
feuds.
antisocial.
Yes.
I don't
What was
think
the funny thing that happened? Lily Allen emptied her clutch into your hands, didn't
Yeah,
she?
I was like, what's in your...
Clutch.
Yeah, like a clutch bag.
Yeah.
Is it called
right.
a clutch?
Okay,
Like it's
just
like a
checking.
handbag but
Okay.
small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked what was in her bag, and she proceeded to empty it into my hands while I was trying to interview her, and I was like, oh, okay.
So Phil was just stood there holding this like Chanel bag with like a little flask of vodka and some cigarettes, and we were like, okay. And Phil was like, oh, why are you making me hold things?
Yeah. And then she asked me to repack it, and being the most clumsy person in the world, I was like, I'm going to do this wrong. Ruin a
Phil
life.
versus a suitcase is something that you should pay to see. So yeah,
Your life as a professional packer's not starting now.
No,
That's
not
the
at all.
service you
safe
offer.
to say.
So the format tonight is you are asking the questions. You've all had forms out there. You've done your questions. Some of you have asked a lot of questions. Hopefully we'll be able to get through them all in time. We're just going to put them out in random order.
Okay.
I'm going to get to sample all of your handwriting. So get ready. When I read out your question, I think it would be appropriate for you to scream and put your hand in the air. It's always good to have an excuse for screaming and putting your hands in the air.
Yes.
So we'll start off with one which is nice and general. What inspires you to make videos? Whose was that? Hand
Wow.
and scream?
Hand and a scream.
Oh.
Thank you.
Give us your best blood scream when you're gonna do that. I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to make noise. Wow.
I get inspired by things in my everyday life that happen to me, which I encounter quite a lot of strange situations. Like I got attacked by a rabid squirrel. So there's a video that
I got
I
attacked by a squirrel in the Florida, as you know.
I was on BBC Breakfast. They said, "Where did the squirrel bite you?" And I said, "Florida." Can't take that one back if it's
No,
live.
Phil, they meant where on the body.